All right, what's going on? Is Bobby Skinner, Jam Football, doing a draft film breakdown on one of my favorite guys to watch over the last few years, and that's Penn State offensive tackle Olu Fashanu. This is the position I look at the most every single year and really spend a lot of time on. He's been one of the more enjoyable prospects to look at. I mean, he's given up 0 sacks in his career at Penn State. To me, just understands pass protection. Like, he just gets it, right? Like, there's, he's always got good proportion with his rusher. He's not oversetting, but he's not, giving up the inside. I think there's some things he needs to clean up with his footwork. And then his hand usage is advanced, right? Like, you don't really see that much for college players. A lot of times they're doing two-hand punch, they're lunging. He's really got it figured out, right? He knows what rushers want to do, and he stops them from getting to do that. And he's got the athleticism, the strength, the anchor to be able to do those things to really succeed at the next level. So let's get into it. I got a lot of plays on him. I mean, it was hard. Usually, I do 20 to 25 plays on these guys. I had to cut down a lot. So first play, obviously lined up here at left tackle, right? So I could spend 20 minutes on every rep. Right, so first let's start with the footwork, right? And he's got a skinny base. I wonder if they'll try and widen that up a little bit in the NFL. But he's not going, he gets the snap, bam, bam. Off that second step, we're reading, right? 1, 2, and now we're reading where this rusher is, right? This is the proportion you want with the rusher, right? And then the hands, right? Using independent hands. So throwing out that right hand is a punch, but not giving this hand out here. A lot of times these guys do these two-handed punches, and look, that's what the rusher wants. He wants to chop that and get you off balance. Where he's got this left hand free, so this end does that little chop. He gets his hand. Now the hand is too far outside and behind, right? So it's not the best placement, but you get that right hand on his other hip, and then you got nice feet. We stonewall him. Obviously makes a play on that, but that's not on the tackle. Next play. Again, you're going to see very similar, right? The footwork's good. 1, 2, 3. Now, he gradually opens up his hips, and I think that is something that a wider stance could help out with a little bit, and just, more work at that. But you see the hips gradually open up at this point. You don't really want that. You want to be a little more square and horizontal with the line of scrimmage. So, but again, we got good proportion where we got, right? Like, where is this rusher's go, right? The inside's not there because he didn't overset. The corner is like the only way to work, but he's got the athleticism to beat you out there, right? So he tries to get hands on him. Puts that right hand out there, right? Long arms, right? Those show up on film. Left hand is ready. You place that left hand. Bam, ball's out. Next play. Again, very similar, right? You see the strong anchor. Bam, bam, footwork. See, as like a lot of times with guys like with Olu, right, because they're so good at taking away the outside and the inside, is the only way to win is to go through them, which we will talk about in some negatives. So he's going to want to work this one arm bar, take that right hand, bam, work it off, place the left hand, sink your hips, anchor. He's got a strong grip, even though it's not the best hand placement in the world. Touchdown, Penn State. Here versus Ohio State. All right, we're going to wash around the corner. We're going to show our hands, right? We're showing hands, right? And that's what this edge rusher wants. He wants to use his hands against you. He wants to chop those hands, get you off balance. So when he goes with that hand move, bam, take those hands away. You take that left hand away, he's chopping at nothing. The right hand place, now you got this. Good footwork, right? Good athleticism. We got the athleticism to get around the corner. Good rep. Next play. Just again, good hands and feet. Let's watch the footwork. 1, 2, 3. That third one we're punching. Reload our hands, keep our feet moving. Feet never stop. Reload, feet never stop. Good rep. Next play. See? Reacting to the rusher. Long arms. Keep your feet moving. He wants to spin out of it. Play the piano on his back. Kill the will of the rusher. And the footwork is just consistently good. Again, I feel like he should widen his stance a little bit, because you do see there can become some foot click, like right here. You don't want that. But rusher goes for that chop. We got hands. We extend. We sink our hips. Bam. Again, just continues, like, just great reps on film. Here you're going to see versus some power, right? Because, again, like we talked about with him. Because, look, right here. Where is this rusher supposed to go? Around the corner? He's not going to win with athleticism. Olu's fast enough. Is he going to work inside? That's not going to happen. So the only way to go through guys like Olu is, or get past them, is to try and work through them. All right? And that's what this rusher does. And rightfully so. That's what you should do, is because when these guys aren't overzealous with this punch, it leaves them vulnerable to go through them. But he's got the anchor to last. All right? He's going to work some speed to power this rusher. And you see the footwork, right? See how his ass sinks? The footwork never gets off track. Good shit. Next play. Again, good feet. You land that punch. He gets that one arm on you. He's trying to, that one arm bench. Just sink your hips, anchor, long arms, extend. Touchdown, Penn State. Now, this is where I feel like he needs to get his best, is reworking his hands, right? Once we're connected to these blocks, is reworking. Because at this point, you need to be taking this right hand and chop. Just literally come and take your hand, ball it up like a fist, and chop his arm off of you, right? And because he's not able to do that, he gets benched. Right now, he's got a good anchor. He's got the footwork is great, right? Where he shows an inside rush, we're protecting inside. So he's got the footwork to stay with it, even though his hands are just not doing anything right now. There's no punch, right? But you got to work those hands off you, because if you let guys keep hands on you, then they're going to do some bull and pull, which we'll see in this rep here, right? Even though this is a good play, like it could be better, right? And hey, did he give up a sack or anything on this? No, but if he has a perfect rep instead of a good rep, his guy isn't the one making this tackle. So this is play action, right? So you're going to use this aggressive pass set, right? This crossovers. Right? You got to get out here quick, right? You got to get this wide rusher. Got to get it out here quick. So good job. But the rusher sees that, and he has some high pad level at 6'6", and he just gets inside him and gets leverage, right? Now, Olu, being the smart pass protector that he is, he immediately goes to these hop step, right? See how both feet come up in the air to re-anchor? Good shit. We're re-anchoring. We got hands on him. But you got to rework your hands, right? Keep your feet moving and rework your hands. Because at this point, your hands are high. Just literally take it, either break that arm off of you or wrap it around and put it back inside. And keep your feet moving, right? Because, hey, this is good right here, right? This is the good posture, but we're a little bit over our knees. And you've allowed him to just get a nice grip of your chest plate and pull. He's going to make a play. Now, that's, again, Does anyone watch that play and say, damn, bad job, Olu? But that's just, go from good to perfect. And when you get more advanced rushers in the NFL, they're going to get to that shit quicker than number 17 on Illinois. Back versus Ohio State. Again, just absorbs this power, right? So just got that anchor, that core strength. Next play. Right? Where's this rusher going to go? There's only ways to go through. Right? And because of the way he uses his hands, that invites that. They tackle like Olu, invite the bull rush. But see those hips sink. Now you're gonna lose it, right? It's how do you recover? It's like, see, your chest, you're trying to play hand games. He just wants to work. 97 wants to work speed to power. You gotta be ready for it because he loses initial round on that, right? So you kind of, even though you invite the bull, you got to be ready to punch, right? And sometimes work that two-hand punch. You see him try and convert that speed to power, get to your two-hand punch. And obviously that comes with time. Here, this is going to look like an ugly rep, and it sure as hell is, but it's a little bit of an outlier to me. One, I didn't put I'm not going to put stunts in this. He's great at stunt pickup. He sees that shit. He IDs it well. So Ohio State had kind of been stunting them to death, but they did it well. So watch, they show that they're going to work a stunt, right? See how 51's playing into Olu's inside hip, right? And so you see that, and then you see 44 do this. You're thinking stunt, right? They fake it a little hezzy, right? So gets a little hezzy. So once he gets off of it, 44 is using power. I'm going to do a breakdown of those two guys, their matchup too, later on, right? So he's got a high pad level. He gets underneath it. He generates that speed to power. He doesn't get pit on his ass, but he gets pit on skates. Right? So, I like his recovery ability for the most part, but that obviously ends up being, a bad rep for him. And I think he's pretty damn good, versus these inside counters. Right? And part of it is just by, hey, staying right here, right? We're good versus this. Throws that right hand out there. Watch the right foot. Right foot steps down here. Instead, a lot of guys, especially in college, even good prospects, their right foot's going to drop back here and it just gives a path to the quarterback. Shut that down. Bam. Shut it down. Good stuff. Next play. Gonna see it again. Right? We're setting. We're a good proportion. He wants to work inside. See that right step? Now this is a little further back, but not bad. Land your hands. Shut it down. See here, he's going to work outside in, speed the power. Anchor down. Now this is where that gradual opening of the hips can get you in trouble. And this isn't a horrible rep, but this is where it can get you in trouble, right? So you see how his hips, he's facing the sideline. You don't want that. Because when you do step down and he spins out of this, right? He times up that punch. Well, what are you going to step down into, right? So the only way to step down into this is have your right foot swing all the way back like we talked about. And hey, that's what happens on here. And he's got the recovery ability. Now, again, the NFL, you're going to have that recovery ability? Maybe not, right? You got to lag a little bit more on the inside. But just that gradual opening of the hips, that gets him in trouble. And then here gets beat by the spin. Right? This is, hey, this is good. We're protecting our inside. We just got to be ready. Hey, play the piano on his back, like you said. And just keep your feet moving. I think he gets a little, steps on his player's foot. But there's still good recovery in this, right? Hey, protecting the inside. He wants to go to that spin. keep your feet moving. Quarterback's able to step up, and he put him in the dirt. So there's some good stuff on pass protection that he's got to, that's really nice. And hey, there's things that got to be cleaned up, but at the same time, I think he's going to really work at that. He shows advanced stuff as a pass protector in college that I think he's really going to grow and become one of the best in the NFL. Let's finish off with the run game. Won't spend as much time at that. I'll just go through 7 plays, but it's the same issue that keeps showing up, and I think it's not an easy fix, but it's a very fixable issue. And I think it starts with the stance change. Again, I talk about his stance being a little too narrow. I think it just kind of leaves him behind, once the rep gets going and leads to high pad level. So let's get into it. First play. Like, this isn't going to be a bad rep, right? Like, we want to torque this defender out. And I actually think the beginning of the reps are usually good for Olu, right? Because he's got that athleticism. He gets off the ball quick, right? Like we see 1, 2, 3, right? We're strong. So we're able to widen that edge. And this isn't a horrible rep, but I just feel like there should be better finish. So he ends up starting, because of that skinny base or skinny stance, his pad level ends up rising, right? And then the second step, that second step should be up and down. And it's such a big step that it forces him to stop on contact. You see how on contact he's landing, and I think his hands come from too low, right? Where they're hooking up. I feel like they should be loaded up here and ready to punch out. And he's stopping on contact, and he's raising his pad level. All right, so you see, you get a good initial movement, right, off his athleticism and strength. That's good. But what he should be doing is driving from this right foot and torquing this defender out. Driving, having power, driving up through the foot into the punch and torquing this defender out, and not letting him to, work back inside. And here you're going to see it versus a better defender, right? He ends up getting stood up. I mean, first let's just look at pad level, right? Our pad level is higher than everybody else's on this. Now, obviously, he's bigger than most of these guys, but that second step's not so bad on this. But the pad level's high. See how the hands come from down low? He's able to, in 44, is able to get in his chest, stand him up. And he's got a high pad level, and his feet are not driving, generating any force. Right? So ends up setting the edge and giving up a tackle for a loss. Here on this drive block, right, and this is where you're going to see the narrow base show up. I mean, that's narrow. Hands are coming from behind us, so I actually don't mind that as much as other people. But see how our feet are together? All right, let's look over here, here, here. Even our tight ends, how our feet are together. And that raises your pad level. And this defensive lineman is able to take advantage of him being high and head heavy and able to shed. This next play versus Iowa. Again, I really do think the beginning of the reps are good for the most part, right? Like, this is good footwork, right? 1, 2. This is good, right? You're 6'6", so you're not going to have the lowest pad level in the world. Now I like this, right? We're going to torque him out. That's what we're trying to do. So we're driving from right here. Now keep the feet moving. Keep the feet moving. Instead he gets stonewalled, right? Keep the feet moving on this, right? Bam. Now put that left foot down. And that's why you want to have this right hand just come up and drive force through it. Again, that's halfway decent. Just could be better. This next play. Again, allowing this defensive lineman to work inside. Like, we're trying to pin him out. That's where I just feel like a wider base would help him out, right? To be able to swing these hips around with that. Instead of being able to drive through and swing these hips around and giving a hole right here for the back. Now, I like the recovery on this, right? When he does work inside. right? Allowing guys to work inside of him. Our pad level's too high, so we get stood up. Now we're on the back side of this, right? So we're just hinge blocking, where we step down and then turn our hips. But hey, swing these hips around more, right? Don't allow him to work inside. That is your goal on this play. Don't allow him to get inside you. Swing these hips around. Swing these hips around. Generate force, but instead you get this high pad level and you get stuck. And your guy's getting in on the tackle. And then the last play we'll go through. Again, I like the beginning of this. Just finish. Right? First step. Bam. That's good, right? Keep a wider base. And you see how he's high, right? And this guy's got leverage. I feel it. I keep on repeating the same thing. Man, you'd be able to just keep generating force in this. Instead, this defense ends sliding off of you and making a tackle. So much good and so much advanced stuff as a pass protector with, I still think, a good amount of room to grow too, which is the beautiful thing of Olu. And in the run game, we've talked about, I think they're fixable issues. And, you know, I'd love to interview and ask him, like, do you think is your stance change something that's going to happen for you when you get to the NFL? So hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the beginning of the playlist. This is the first breakdown I've done of this draft class. So check out the playlist if you're not watching it immediately. Subscribe if you are watching it immediately. Appreciate you guys. We will see you on the next one.